I think it's like 70% of my rent was covered by him. And the major key to that is he did not even know that I owned the place. All right, welcome to the House Rich Podcast, episode zero. So what is the House Rich Podcast? It's basically me. I'm your host, David. My whole goal is to inspire future homeowners to become homeowners by breaking down the home buying process in layman terms and sharing stories from average people that have done above average things in real estate. That's really it. It's going to be about 30 to 45 minutes an episode. This episode zero is just kind of breaking down what the format is. And I actually don't really have a script because I just wanted to have this flow freely for me. And so yeah. So why am I doing this podcast? Just want to inspire folks as far as home ownership. So I got House Rich the brand back there, and yes, I am in my closet. I got some clothes, so I figured out why not be in my closet for there. And there's also great lighting and yeah, it's great lighting in a quiet place in my house. So let's get that out of the way. I think I'll shoot every episode here. So far, so good. I've done one video before that. So that's that. So who am I? My background is in lending. I've been a loan officer and I'm an underwriter currently, so I like to say I know kind of both sides of the lending piece. I've done everything except for being a realtor, but I think being a loan officer helps me understand the sales piece and talking to clients and knowing what they want and knowing what their needs are and knowing that they actually don't know what they want. And then the underwriting side helps me actually know the guidelines, so I can actually marry those two. A lot of folks are on one side or the other, but I get to actually marry those two together and bring some good knowledge. I've actually had a show called Drew Television a few years back, Dallas Real Estate Entrepreneurship and whatever else, where I used to actually interview people in real estate when I first got into the industry as far as a lender. And so I think I have some above average interviewing skills. I guess we'll see, and you'll be the judge of that as the show goes along. Any feedback is appreciated. And yeah, like I said, I'm looking to share stories of average people that have done above average things in the real estate space. That's really it. So if you feel that's you, feel free to reach out to me if you think your story is great and you can add something to the show, or I can add something to you and your folks as well. So I'm going to post these on YouTube, Instagram, basically everywhere that videos are to be seen at. So that's that there. I'll get into my personal story in a little bit, but basically the format is going to be basically probably the first five or so episodes of this show are just going to be me talking to the camera, so I can kind of work out the kinks and make sure everything's good before I start bringing on guests. So I'm big on not wasting other people's time because I don't want my time wasted. So that's kind of the format. But after that, it'll be basically a guest. I'll come on and talk to something. A guest, I'll talk. A guest, I'll talk. That's the format now. Obviously, that's subject to change. This is we're just going to kind of see where this show goes. So yeah, that's that there. I do got some show notes over there in the corner, so I can kind of stay on track. But I'm really just kind of flowing with this, and so yeah, I'm just started. I'm a big believer in tweet talk podcast. They say get fancy, get started later. So just kind of getting started. But I like this closet setup, so I think I may rock with this for a little bit. And so kind of what's my personal real estate story? I purchased my first home at 21, right out of right out of college. So I graduated from the U.S. Naval Academy, and so I was, you go into the military right after college because they basically pay for your college up front there. So you do 5 years in the Navy, and so my mom or dad, I can't remember which one, basically said that you should buy a home instead of renting a home. You should buy a home, and so I was like, yeah, I guess that makes sense. Why would I be paying some figurehead money for rent when I can just buy a home? And so that's what I did. So I bought a condo at 21. And then so a major key what I did with that condo was that I got a roommate. And so this is before like house hacking was cool and trend and everyone's talking about it, even though few people actually know what they're talking about. But that's a different story. And so my mortgage was like $1,400 a month, and I ended up renting renting a room to him for like $900, something like this. I should have done the math before I hopped on this podcast, but I think it's like 70% of my rent was covered by him. And the major key to that is he did not even know that I owned the place. So I think I've seen like a meme floating around where like a girl says she done that to a guy. I did that in real life to my roommate, and not to be shady or anything like that, but I mean we're both 21. I didn't just want there to be any a weird dynamic in the property where it's like, hey, he's 21, I'm 21, why can't I just do my own thing? And so maybe it's a little bit selfish as well because, maybe I didn't want to inspire him to get his own place. I wanted just to collect rent. So maybe that was a little bit selfish, but I don't know. It was fair market value rent, and obviously choose to live wherever he wanted. Nobody forced him to live with me. And so, yeah, we had that scenario set up for 5 years. Once again, for 5 years, I owned the place. He didn't. I owned the place, and my roommate did not know I owned it. So how did I pull that off? I had a property manager that he would send his rent check to. And who was the property manager? My mom and dad. Yes, my mom and dad. So this guy would basically just mail his rent check to my mom and dad, and they would just put it in my bank account, and then we would continue the cycle every month. And so I think he probably should have been curious why I was so intent on kind of doing stuff around the house to fix stuff here and there. I would just fix stuff that needed to be fixing. I mean, it was a brand new condo, so there wasn't really a lot of stuff to fix or take care of. But yeah, anything that needed to be fixed, I just took care of myself. And so another major key that I set up is what I call like the bedroom to bathroom ratio. And so that's super important because you want to make sure that your roommate has a bathroom to themselves. You don't ever want to be sharing a bathroom. You get the stuff where who peed on the toilet or who did this or that. Did you use my toothbrush or what have you? So you never want there to be. You just don't want to be sharing a bathroom. It just will lead to a lot of conflict. So I know, like when my fiance now, wife and I. So I moved out of my condo while we were buying a house together and moved into or sold my condo, and while we moved into her apartment together. And it was a 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom where she was living there by herself. And so, I was in love with her, but it was kind of a little bit frustrating dynamic sometimes. You know how women take too long in the bathroom. And so, yeah, I'll just leave it at that. So when you got to go to the bathroom and somebody's in the bathroom, it's rough. There were times I genuinely thought about going like a trash can or something. So, yeah, so make sure you got that bedroom to bathroom ratio set up. And so, like, so you may not have a scenario where you can have a property manager that charges no fees because they're your, and for folks listening, I'm doing air quotes, they're charging no fees because you're parents, but you can easily set something up like that as far as you're doing your own thing. And so, yeah, they helped me get off to a great financial start. When you're having somebody pay 80, 70% of your rent, so you're basically paying $400 to live in a relatively nice place, you can save a lot of money and you can invest it. So that was really my introduction to house hacking. And I didn't really know it was house hacking. My introduction to like classic house hacking, multifamily house hacking, was actually a client of mine who had done it before. He was buying like a triplex, and he had a bunch of other properties now, and he was and he had a bunch of other properties. So I was noticing, like, wow, he would buy a property, stay there for a year, collect basically 80% or 70% of the rent from the mortgage, and then move out and then cash flow the property. And I was like, wow, and it just kind of blew my mind. It was like 2-3 years into my mortgage career, and I never really heard of anybody doing that. And so I was like, huh, that's pretty cool. Why don't people talk about that? I should talk about that a little bit more. And so, I started talking about that with my clients and helping them build their real estate portfolios. So me personally, I've always done the single family condo thing. My weapon of choice was condos just because they're super easy to maintain, and they're essentially like an apartment when you move out. But you got to make sure that the HOA allows you to rent the property. So that's one thing you want to look at as well when working a condo. But yeah, he introduced me to house hacking. So I mean, if you're, I guess you can do it at any age. It's your level of comfortability. But I mean, there's really no excuse or no reason for you not to house hack. If you're like renting a property. I mean, I always say if you're going to be sharing a wall with somebody, might as well own the wall. It's kind of my motto as far as that. So, hopefully that makes sense to you. I'll break down some more of those stories. Or I'll go a little bit more maybe to this or that. But I just want to do my first episode just to get it out there into the mass public. And so, yeah, I just got done with the David Shan's podcast challenge on Friday. So I dedicated doing my first episode this Saturday, and I'm going to try to do 2 episodes a week. So I have the House Rich podcast, and also in my YouTube channel, I would do kind of long form educational topics as well as far as dealing with the mortgage process, because I'm very knowledgeable in that. I'm pretty above average when it comes to that. So yeah, that's really it. So if you guys got any questions, let me know. I think I'll put stuff in the bio as far as more resources for you. I do have courses for you as well, in order to get your knowledge on. Oh, and sorry, speaking of courses, I got to do a commercial for myself. So check out the Coins and Culture Instagram page. It's probably one of the best, not probably, it's one of the best pages on Instagram as far as home buying information. So Yeah, they're the sponsor of this episode. Coins and Culture Instagram page for the world's best Instagram mortgage ship. So until we meet again, I got to figure out an outro for this. But yeah, looking forward to rocking with you all. Episode 0.